Did you know that a 2018 review in the journal Molecules found that castor oil's main active ingredient, ricinoleic acid, can quickly stimulate the muscles of your intestines? This effect can be both beneficial for relieving constipation and potentially risky if you're not careful, particularly once you're over 50. In fact, the National Institutes of Health, NIH, has flagged high doses of castor oil as a possible cause of sudden electrolyte shifts, which can lead to lightheadedness, heart rhythm disturbances, or worse, in older adults. On top of that, a 2019 study in the Journal of Clinical Pharmacology underscores that this potent laxative can interfere with the absorption of prescription medications, a concern that naturally escalates with age. These science-based revelations highlight the importance of approaching castor oil with a well-informed mindset rather than diving in blindly. Beyond these immediate health implications, it's fascinating to note that castor oil, pressed from the seeds of the Ricinus communis plant, has served as a home remedy for centuries, celebrated for everything from soothing dry skin to alleviating minor aches. Over time, word of its versatile powers has led many to assume it's a near-magical solution, a notion reinforced by generations of people who grew up seeing it used for constipation relief. However, modern findings remind us that natural does not always mean risk-free, especially when subtle changes in metabolism and organ function can magnify the oil's impact. If you're in your 50s or beyond and considering daily use of castor oil, you'll want to ensure you understand the 8 shocking mistakes that could hamper its benefits or even jeopardize your health. We're talking about missteps like overconsumption, buying poor quality products, timing mistakes, relying on castor oil as a universal cure, ignoring possible drug interactions, disregarding existing health conditions, fasting or taking it on an empty stomach, and overlooking potential allergies or sensitivities. Before we dive headfirst into these pitfalls, let's also acknowledge the reasons people are still drawn to castor oil. For one, a 2018 review in the journal Molecules credits ricinoleic acid with anti-inflammatory and analgesic properties, which may help with discomfort in muscles or joints. Plus, anecdotal accounts tout castor oil's utility in skin and hair care, especially when used externally to lock in moisture. The dual nature of castor oil, a potent healing agent that can become a hazard if misused, is precisely why being armed with knowledge is critical. Even though you may have heard friends or family members swear by it for everything from easing gut troubles to boosting hair growth, you have to remember that each person's body reacts differently. In this video, we'll meticulously break down how each of these 8 mistakes can unfold, referencing credible sources and practical examples along the way. If you find this information valuable, please consider hitting the like button, sharing this video with anyone who might benefit, and subscribing to our channel for more research-backed health insights. Your support helps us continue to craft content that blends time-honored remedies with the latest scientific findings, all while ensuring you get a nuanced view rather than one-size-fits-all advice. So, let's lay it all out on the table. You'll discover why something as simple as taking an extra tablespoon of castor oil could spiral into a day of severe cramps and bathroom runs, or how a poorly timed dose might clash with your morning blood pressure meds. We'll show you how a little due diligence, like scanning labels for terms such as cold-pressed, hexane-free, and organic, can save you from ingesting hidden solvents. And we'll delve into the reasons you should exercise particular caution if you have pre-existing conditions like kidney disease, or if you've been toying with the idea of mixing castor oil into a fasting regimen. Ultimately, the goal here is not to frighten you away from castor oil, but rather to help you use it wisely if you choose to do so. After all, we're talking about a natural substance that has offered real benefits to many people, but which demands respect and awareness as we age. Let's jump right in and explore the 8 biggest mistakes that can trip up even the most health-savvy individual over 50. First up is the classic error of overconsumption. Many of us assume that if a little bit of something is good, a larger amount must be even better. Unfortunately, when it comes to castor oil, that mindset can backfire dramatically. Overconsumption can trigger severe diarrhea, abdominal cramping, and even electrolyte imbalances, risks that become more pronounced as we get older. The National Institutes of Health, NIH, points out that older adults, in particular, can experience drastic changes in electrolyte levels more quickly than younger adults, which might lead to problems like low potassium or irregular heart rhythms. If you've ever felt weak, faint, or noticed a racing heartbeat after a bout of digestive distress, you know it's not an experience to take lightly. That's why you'll often see recommendations to start small, perhaps only a half teaspoon or a teaspoon at most, and gauge how your body responds before considering an increase. The second pitfall is buying poor quality castor oil, a mistake that can completely derail any health benefits you hope to gain. Not all castor oil is pure. Some versions are cut with cheaper oils or processed using harsh solvents like hexane, which could leave behind chemical residues. The risk of contamination is real, and the difference between a high-quality, cold-pressed, hexane-free product and a mass-produced questionable blend is immense. While it may be tempting to save a few bucks, keep in mind that you're talking about something that will affect your body from the inside out. If you do opt to ingest it, you'll be trusting that what's on the label matches what's actually in the bottle. Look for words like USP grade, BP grade, cold-pressed, or organic to ensure you're getting a product that has been tested for purity and potency. And even if you're using castor oil externally, for hair or skin health, a poor quality product can still irritate your scalp, clog pores, or contain substances that cause adverse reactions. Next, consider the notion of wrong timing. Castor oil's potent laxative effect means it can disrupt your daily schedule if used haphazardly. Take it right before bedtime, and you might find yourself making urgent trips to the bathroom at 3 in the morning. Take it too late in the morning, and it might wreak havoc on your afternoon errands. The Mayo Clinic offers guidelines for laxative use, generally advising patients to take them earlier in the day to avoid sleep interruptions and to allow the body plenty of time to process everything. Timing also matters if you have certain conditions, like arthritis, where you might consider using castor oil packs or oral doses for pain relief. If you choose to combine castor oil with other anti-inflammatory treatments, spacing them out properly during the day can make all the difference in how consistently you feel relief. Of course, the notion of relying on castor oil as a cure-all can be just as misguided, forming the fourth mistake in our list. Many folks assume that because it's natural, it should fix everything from constipation and hair thinning to joint pain and skin dryness without the need for any other adjustments. The reality is that successful health management, especially after 50, is rarely about a single remedy. For chronic constipation, for example, increasing your fiber intake, staying well hydrated, and exploring gentle exercise, like walking or yoga, can sometimes be just as crucial as any supplement. Likewise, if you're dealing with skin issues like dryness or psoriasis, you might need a dermatologist's advice or prescription products in tandem with castor oil. By viewing castor oil as one tool in a larger toolbox, rather than a sole magical solution, you reduce the risk of ignoring other important aspects of self-care. Imagine how frustrating it would be if you pinned all your hopes on castor oil to solve a problem, only to discover later that a more balanced, multi-pronged approach would have done a better job. Having covered those 4 common mistakes, overconsumption, poor quality, ill-timed use, and over-reliance, let's pivot to something people often overlook: drug interactions. By the time you reach your 50s, you may be on various prescription medications, whether for blood pressure, cholesterol, or other conditions such as diabetes or thyroid disorders. Castor oil, especially when taken orally, may speed up bowel movements to the extent that certain medications exit your system before they can be fully absorbed. According to a 2019 study in the Journal of Clinical Pharmacology, laxatives can significantly reduce the window in which oral drugs remain available for proper absorption in the intestines. This means if you're relying on pills to manage blood sugar or blood pressure, taking them too close to your castor oil dose could undercut their effectiveness. The best approach is to consult with your healthcare provider on optimal timing. Sometimes, leaving a 2 to 3 hour gap between your medications and castor oil can mitigate these issues. Closely related is the need to be mindful of existing health conditions, which marks the sixth pitfall. As we age, the likelihood of having one or more chronic ailments, be it kidney disease, heart conditions, or irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, increases. Each of these illnesses can interact poorly with the dehydration or electrolyte shifts castor oil can bring on. For instance, if you have kidney disease, you might already be struggling to maintain the right balance of fluids, sodium, and potassium. Adding a potent laxative into the mix may tip the scales even further, causing undue strain on your heart, muscles, or overall energy levels. Even if you consider yourself relatively healthy, it's still wise to check in with a doctor if you experience any uncharacteristic symptoms like dizziness, persistent nausea, or unusual fatigue after introducing castor oil to your regimen. Next, let's talk about fasting or taking castor oil on an empty stomach. Many people like to engage in fasts or cleanses to jumpstart a new health routine, lose weight, or simply give their digestive system a break. Castor oil is often touted as a powerful cleanse booster under these circumstances, with the idea that it can expedite the removal of waste. While that may be true, using castor oil in conjunction with a fast can be a double-edged sword. You're already restricting caloric intake, which can leave you feeling weaker than usual if you're not vigilant about essential nutrients and electrolytes. Introducing a strong laxative on top of that might exacerbate fatigue, trigger headaches, or cause significant drops in blood pressure, particularly if you're not adequately replenishing fluids. Think of it this way: your body is already in a state of reduced energy during a fast, and castor oil's quick-moving effects can pull essential electrolytes and water out of your system faster than you can replace them. The eighth and final mistake we want to highlight is overlooking possible allergies or sensitivities. Although it's relatively rare to have a castor oil allergy, it can happen. Moreover, mild sensitivities can develop gradually, manifesting as rashes, itching, or mild digestive upset that worsens over time. A 2020 article in Allergy and Asthma Proceedings noted that some individuals may develop unexpected allergic reactions to substances they've used for years. If you suspect you might be sensitive, a small patch test on the skin or a very minimal oral dose can serve as an early warning system. Discontinue use immediately if you notice redness, swelling, or significant gastrointestinal discomfort. Overlooking these signs in the name of toughing it out can lead to more serious issues down the line, so never ignore your body's feedback. Put yourself in the shoes of someone eager to harness castor oil's reputed benefits. They're excited to tackle stubborn constipation or give their joints some natural relief. Without realizing it, they could be sabotaging those efforts by ignoring drug interactions, failing to consult their doctor about pre-existing conditions, mixing castor oil with an ill-advised fasting regimen, or skipping that quick allergy test. Knowledge really is power here, and by being aware of all 8 pitfalls, you stand a far better chance of making castor oil work for you instead of against you. Now that we've laid out these 8 mistakes, overconsumption, poor product quality, bad timing, treating it as a cure-all, ignoring drug interactions, neglecting existing conditions, using it on an empty stomach or during a fast, and overlooking allergies, you may be wondering how to integrate castor oil into your daily or weekly routine safely and effectively, if you still choose to do so. The first step, above all else, is starting with a low dose. The typical recommendation is about half a teaspoon to a teaspoon, especially for older adults, to see how well your body tolerates it. If you feel okay after a few days, you can adjust from there, but always do so incrementally, with an eye on any new side effects that might arise. This low and slow approach gives you a chance to notice mild issues before they escalate into more serious conditions, like dehydration or electrolyte imbalances. Second, pay close attention to the time of day that works best for you. As previously mentioned, you might not want to use castor oil late at night unless you're ready to sacrifice some of your sleep. For many people, taking it earlier in the morning, perhaps a couple of hours after a light breakfast, provides a balanced approach. It gives you enough time to stay near a restroom if needed, and it avoids interfering with medications you might take upon waking or at bedtime. If you're someone who likes to space out your supplements, maybe you take certain vitamins in the morning and others at lunch, then be sure to block off enough time between them and castor oil to avoid malabsorption. A 2 to 3 hour window is often recommended by healthcare providers, though this may vary if you're on a strict medication schedule. Third, choose a quality product. While this may seem redundant, it cannot be overstated. Castor oil purity matters more than people realize, especially for internal use. Reputable brands will clearly indicate their manufacturing process, such as cold pressing, to maintain the oil's chemical integrity without introducing solvent residues. They'll also test for contaminants like heavy metals or pesticide residues if the castor beans are not organically grown. Check the labeling, read reviews, and don't hesitate to contact the company if you have questions regarding their quality assurance. It's your right to know exactly what you're putting into your body, especially at a stage of life where gut health can be a delicate balancing act. Fourth, maintain a balanced lifestyle. Castor oil can offer certain benefits, but it's not a substitute for a healthy diet, proper hydration, or a medical professional's advice. If you're trying to address chronic constipation, ensure you're staying hydrated, eating enough fiber, and incorporating moderate exercise, such as walking, gentle yoga, or swimming, into your daily routine. The same goes for any joint pain relief you may be seeking. Castor oil might help alleviate minor aches, but strengthening exercises, stretching, and anti-inflammatory foods can also play a crucial role in how comfortable you feel as you age. By taking a holistic approach, you reduce the burden on castor oil to fix everything, and you'll generally see better, more sustainable results. Finally, listen to your body and be prepared to adjust. If your digestion suddenly becomes erratic, or if you notice new symptoms like rashes or heart palpitations, don't ignore these signals. They could indicate that your dosage is too high, that you're reacting to an impurity in the oil, or that castor oil simply isn't the right choice for you. Speak to a healthcare provider if symptoms persist. In many cases, solutions are straightforward. Reduce your intake, change the time you take it, or switch to a different brand. But the key is paying attention to what your body is telling you. As we wrap up this comprehensive look at 8 major mistakes people make when consuming castor oil daily after their 50s, let's do a quick recap. First, keep your dosage in check to prevent severe digestive upset and dangerous shifts in electrolyte levels. Second, choose high-quality, contaminant-free oil because low-grade products can bring toxins into your system. Third, remember timing matters. Avoid ingesting castor oil too close to bedtime or around crucial medication schedules. Fourth, don't over-rely on it as a cure-all. Consider it one tool in your larger wellness toolbox. Fifth, remain aware of drug interactions, spacing out your prescriptions or over-the-counter meds appropriately. Sixth, be cautious if you have existing health conditions, especially those that involve fluid balance, digestion, or the kidneys. Seventh, don't underestimate the additional risks of fasting or taking it on an empty stomach, where dehydration and fatigue can escalate quickly. And eighth, watch out for allergies or sensitivities, even if they're mild or develop unexpectedly. By heeding these warnings, you can position yourself to enjoy the potential benefits of castor oil, like enhanced digestion, gentle alleviation of minor aches, or improved skin and hair health, without stumbling into the detrimental side effects that give this time-honored remedy a bad rap in some circles. The key is balance, awareness, and a willingness to adapt. If you enjoyed this video and found the insights valuable, do give it a thumbs up, share it with friends and family who might benefit, and hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet. Your support encourages us to keep producing content backed by credible research and delivered with clarity in mind. Thank you for watching and for taking the time to educate yourself on a topic that could truly make a difference in your day-to-day health. We hope you'll continue to stay informed, stay proactive, and most importantly, stay well.